what's your first name?
Ro.
Ro?
Yeah.
Right, Ro, tell us what's happened to you then.
At 17 months old, I was run over by a van,
Right.
and it had fractured my face, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of physical ailments as well.
As a result of that, okay. So at the moment you're suffering with sciatica,
Migraine.
migraines, okay.
I'm blind in one eye, and
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Now, blind in your left eye?
Yeah.
It's okay, right, okay. And but you've got sciatica down both legs, and it's been like that for 3 years.
It's ever since I was a baby.
Oh, ever since you're a baby, wow. Oh, that's huge, isn't it? So you wouldn't know what it would be like to be pain-free.
That would be a miracle.
Well, I'm in for that, aren't you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. So as you were sat in the audience, as you started talking about your sciatic pain, before you mentioned anything about the car accident, that's what the surgeon said to me, it had been a car accident or a road accident, yeah? All right. So what I need you to do, Mo, is that I'm going to work with you first in the chair, and then I'm going to work with you stood up. So I'll work with you first in the chair. Now, I wear white simply, it's not because I'm a virgin. I'll be the oldest virgin you've ever seen, wouldn't I? It's difficult having 2 kids, definitely not a virgin. It's to protect me spiritually, all right? Because there'll be energies that come off row. It might be a bit of fear to do with the accident, it might be a bit of stress, it might be a bit of sadness for what he's missed out on because of different things he's had. And as that energy comes out, the surgeon will see it against the white of my clothes. And it's not that long ago that doctors and nurses all wore white. And your matrons used to have that little cap on the crown to protect the crown chakra. And I reckon we've forgotten why we did it. It wasn't just for cleanliness, it was for spiritual protection. So, while I was busy talking to you, very, very quickly I asked a prayer for Ro. That prayer always goes to God. I absolutely believe in God. I believe we're all in God all of the time. And I believe that you can find God in whatever way you wish. You can find God in your children, you can find God in nature, you can find God in a church, you know, in community. There's lots of places that we can find God. I think of God as a magnificent energy that's present everywhere. And within God, there is learning and growth, just as there is learning and growth within us. Now, Ro, what's happening for you? What can you feel happening?
I feel quite serene.
Quite serene, yeah. Now, do you remember much of the accident?
I just remember flashing lights before my head gets squashed.
Yeah.
And I just want to be by my mum.
Let yourself feel that. Let yourself feel that. See, that energy's been locked in for so long. It was really, really scary. You and I, we often can't imagine what it's like to get run over, you know, as a kid. Whoa, really scary. Really scary. God bless. Now it also feels, Ro, that it wasn't your fault. Was somebody driving too fast? Yeah.
My auntie was in a restaurant somewhere.
So we say that again, your auntie?
My auntie was in a restaurant somewhere.
Ooh. Okay.
Just feel mad now, angry.
Now I know in my family, I have to work out where it was in my dad's family. My dad's sister's eldest boy was killed by her brother-in-law. He had a delivery truck. And my auntie who lost her son, they had a bacon shop, a cheese and bacon shop in Sheffield. And the delivery truck, the kids were larking around and the other uncle reversed over the nephew and he died. Causes a lot of pain, yeah? We sometimes forget just how dangerous vehicles can be and how fragile little kids are. Okay, so there's some energy there to clear. Now, absolutely, the auntie didn't intend this. Oh my goodness me. And one of the things I've had to learn this lifetime is that we can all do our best, but accidents still happen. You can be just distracted just for a second. You don't intend any harm, but something bad happens in that moment. And there's nothing you can do. You can't wind back the clock. And the way I see it is this. I see myself as an idiot. Yeah? Recently, I reversed into a parked car. I'm an idiot. And sometimes it's somebody else's day, like that day was your auntie's day, to be an idiot. We can all be idiots, and it's actually quite a good philosophy to have. I think that man in charge of America, Donald Trump, I think he's also an idiot. And I think that Boris in the UK, he's an idiot too. But I'm saying this from the perspective of I too am an idiot. We're all idiots. We're all idiots. We can all have our days. We can have days where we do wonderful things and days where we do dumb shit, can't we? Yeah? And that was just one of those days where your auntie did something just rushing. That's all it was, rushing. Now there's a story I'm going to tell you, and it's set in America, and somebody was trying to work out if there was a difference between the priests that joined because they'd had an experience with God of calling, and the priests that joined the seminary because it was a job. And so what they did was they set the priests a challenge. They said, right, we're here in this building, you have to go across town, it's 2 blocks, it should take you 15 minutes, and en route they left a man that had fallen in the gutter, and they wanted to know which of the 2 groups of priests would stop and help the man that had fallen in the gutter. And from a distance you couldn't see if it was a man with a heart attack, if it was somebody with diabetes that had passed out, if it was a drunk or somebody high on drugs. You couldn't see, you had to go over and see. And I think what they expected to get was to find that the ones that got the calling of God would stop, and the ones that didn't, that wasn't what they found. They did different tests. They started to get really curious. They started teaching the priests the story of the Samaritan. Yeah, you know the story of the Samaritan. It's a man that's lying injured at the side of the road, and the Samaritan stops to help. So some of the priests were going to give a talk on the Samaritan, and they didn't stop. Some did and some didn't. And when they analysed it, do you know what the difference was? I'm going to tell you, because you'll never guess it. Well, you might. Sometimes they said, right, it's a 15-minute walk, you've got 30 minutes. Sometimes they'd said, it's a 15-minute walk, oh hell, you've only got 10 minutes now. Now the ones that perceived they had the time stopped, regardless of whether they'd had a calling or they were just doing a job. The ones that were out of time, they thought they were running late, they were going to get into trouble for being late, none of them stopped. Now how many times in our lives, and I do it myself, I don't give somebody the care and attention they deserve because I'm pushed for time. Even my own children, if I'm rushing for a flight and I've got to catch my flight, I'll snap at my own kids. And so a lot of the less quality interactions we have with people are when either party hasn't got enough time. You haven't got enough time for the other person. Yeah. And in this case, you've got the consequences for your auntie just rushing around. Now the lovely thing about you in your space though, Ro, is you love your auntie. You've never ever blamed her, right? Isn't that nice? He's been very accepting of it. He hasn't liked it, but he's been accepting of it. So it wasn't Ro's fault as a child. It wasn't Auntie's fault either. Sometimes, guys, these things just happen. Wrong person, wrong time. A little bit of distraction. Nobody intends any harm. But there's negative consequences. Now, What's happened though, Ro, is this has shaped your life. What you've been through has helped make you the caring and sensitive person you are today. You're a lot more caring and sensitive than you would have been if this hadn't happened. What other good has come out of this?
I just really appreciate the life that I have.
He really appreciates the life that he has. I bet you're more patient than most people.
No.
Yeah, and you're tolerant of other people. Yeah. Now just notice how your head's feeling. Is your head feeling a bit lighter? A bit clearer? Cool. Right, we're getting onto the sciatic nerve really soon. So now I need you to stand. So you come and stand just there, sit, and the surgeon's going to work on the sciatica and faces that way. That's it, cool. Right, cool. Now, one of the things that happens when we're children, between the ages of 0 and 7, we listen and pay attention to that world around us, and we take on adults' beliefs about the world and about who we are and what we're capable of. And one of the things that's going terribly wrong at the moment is our educational system, I reckon. Yeah? If you succeed at the educational system, I mean really succeed, you know, you come out as an A-grade student, then go to university, and you come out as the top student, you become a university professor. A person who thinks their body is a device for taking their heads to meetings. You ever seen university professors at the disco? They're not in touch with their bodies, are they? Imagine a world run by university professors. Oh, hell. It's not going to be good, is it? All right. So, we've got an educational system that makes you feel good, though, if you can learn what they want you to learn in the way they want you to learn it, and in response to tests in a certain way they want you to do. It's all crazy. It's crazy. Like, when I was growing up, we had the good old Encyclopedia Britannica. Oh, weren't they boring? Oh. And you went and you found your knowledge out of books. Now we've got the internet. Even doctors, you go to the doctors, you're looking up on the internet. Yeah? Yeah, it's not about thinking. We're not encouraging the kids to think. We're not encouraging them to tap into their full potential. It's just like a memory test. We're going to give you some information if you can regurgitate it, and if we've brainwashed you, and if you can spit it all out again, then you'll get a pass. So, some people fail that system. Most entrepreneurs do not stay to school beyond the age of about 15, because they can't. It's doing their head in. They're learning stuff that's useless. At 15, my daughter, here in New Zealand, had 1 whole year in maths doing algebra. Algebra! When the hell is she going to use that? I'd much rather they taught her about balancing a checkbook or budgeting a household or compound interest on a credit card. That would be useful. Or starting up a business, working capital. There's good things we could teach in maths. But algebra for a year? Oh, how to turn kids off maths. Now, I love maths. A year of maths, algebra, I'm like, yeah, I'll have double, please. I like algebra. But my daughter didn't particularly like algebra. But what was the point? Yeah, there's useful things we can teach. So my point with the education is this: if you succeed, you get to be a university professor. Whoopie-doos. Yeah? But if you fail, and most people are failing it, then you lower your self-esteem. Just because you didn't conform to what they wanted to teach you in a certain format. There are something like 9 different kinds of intelligence. There's like spatial awareness, there's a musical intelligence, there's a coordination of hand and eye intelligence. There's lots of different intelligences, but they're not developed in schools. If we want to have self-worth, we've got to find what it is we're good at. School doesn't give many kids the opportunity to do that, so they're writing themselves off at school. Now, how's that feeling, Ro?
I don't know whether I should bend.
Yeah, if you felt you needed to bend, you've done the right thing. Walk around a little bit, see how it feels.
I feel like, you know,
A lot better. Any pain there?
not really.
Well, that's good, isn't it? How many years has that been?
A lot.
A lot.
Since I was little. Since time in the now. It feels real good.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Cool. Give it a round of applause.